All right, gang, let's do this. So if you look at your network assignments, you should have a IPMI temporary IP address listed there. I want you to copy that off, and then using the browser of your choice that you can get to cyber.local with, you're going to open up Chrome. I would recommend. Go to that IP address. And then using the login that you should be given by either Adam or myself, go ahead and log in. So the login is CNCS sysadmin. Now this is for systems that are already configured and exist. The new systems, the username is going to be admin all uppercase, and the password is actually on the front panel of your Supermicro server. So let me copy off the password. Log in. All right, I'm in. So you can see that the server name is already there. Just verify that that's the case. If it's a new box, there'll be no server name there, and you'll have to add it via configuration and network. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to go to virtual media, and I lied. We're going to go to remote control and IKVM5, and we're going to open it up. Okay, so my system's powered off, right? We also have a virtual keyboard that's going to become quite useful in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and power the system on. Now, I'm assuming that you have the ESXi 8 USB key put into one of the two USB ports on your Supermicro. So let's see, power control. Set power on. Now you might be powered on already. Maybe you're up. Maybe there's an Ubuntu screen. Just reset the power, right? Okay, so it's booting up. You're gonna have to click in here, just like VMware, to make sure the keyboard goes to the OS behind the screen. And as it's coming up, you'll get a prompt after the BMC initialization on whether or not you want to go to setup or go to a boot menu. Well, F11 is the key to go to the boot menu. And you'll have to click it a bunch of times or you'll miss it and you'll have to do it again. So wait for it. Okay, here we go. F11, F11, F11. Come on. Come on. There we go. Invoking boot menu. I had to hit it like 3 or 4 times. I'm going to move this off over here. And isn't this cool? This is sort of like sitting at the console, right? You'll notice the IP is on Joyce, like in a real installation, like a production installation. You're going to want these management interfaces to be on totally separate LAN, like or a VLAN, so that this lights out management does not happen over the same network segment that your production data overflows. So you'd want to have some sort of mature management VLAN. We don't have that. We are going to pick UEFI USB disk, right? The letters after this might be different, but that's the one we're going to pick. And eventually this will load up. So you should get the ESXi installer. I'm going to pause my video right now while the ESXi installer comes up. It'll take a minute or two. Okay, here we are. Eventually this will come up after 3 or 4 minutes. Just a word to the wise, if you don't have your tech journal open right now, you're shooting yourself in the foot. So you're going to want to document this as you go, because I'm going to want to see it in your tech journal, right? If you're working with a partner, you can certainly share this content with one another, particularly if you're both working on the same ESXi box. But you're going to want to have this because you may have to do a rebuild somewhere during the course of the semester. Could happen. All right, so We're going to go ahead and hit enter to continue. I'm going to hit F11 using the keyboard, and when in doubt, use this keyboard because you might hit like F4 or something like that, which will close your Chrome session. That wouldn't be good. So what it's doing now is looking for hard drives, and it's found two. So I have two on this system. I also have this USB stick. Don't install over the USB stick. So I'm going to go ahead and install on the first one. I'll hit enter. And enter for OK. I'm going to pick the default. Now you're going to need to remember this password, right? So don't enter a password that you're going to forget. Otherwise, you're going to have to put your IPMI interface back on and then go ahead and go through this whole process again. Okay, and here's a warning. So VMware does not necessarily believe in aggressive backwards compatibility. So it could be when we get to vSphere 9.0 that these super micros don't work anymore, right? Okay, and again, I'm going to use F11 up here, and I'm going to pause my video because this installation will take a little while. All right, so ESXi was installed. We'll go ahead and enter for reboot, and I'm gonna pause my video again, and I'll meet you back in a few minutes. Okay, so you should pop up to a screen that looks similar to this. Right now, you see I don't have an IP address, right? I'm getting the default 169.254. This means that the IPMI or the cable going to the IPMI interface just needs to be moved over. You can see I'm at home, right? So I just texted Adam to have him do that, but we're going to be doing this in class. You're literally going to plug out and plug back into another interface on your super. So I'll go ahead and pause my video until I see this change. Actually, I won't see it change because I'll be unplugged from IPMI. I'll just have to wait till Adam tells me that he did the switch, and we'll pop in and take a look. All right, back again. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to actually temporarily add a second cable. So you'll have IPMI plus your production interface at the same time, so you can complete your configuration. So remember this for our Wednesday class. So I have my IPMI cable connected, and I'm talking to ESXi via lights out management. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and configure my interfaces with F2. So let's do that. F2. Hopefully you remember your root password. Okay, I'm in. I'm going to pop into configure network management. And then I'm going to go to network adapters and hit enter. And if you scroll through the list, you should see that the other one's connected right there. And I'm going to remove that first one. I use the space bar to select. So VMNet 1 is the top left one, I do believe. So let's give this a go. I'll hit OK to say this will work. I'll hit escape and Y for yes to restart the management network, and cross my fingers. And look at that. So you notice I get the 192.168.7.11 address, which is correct. That's Super One is assigned that address, and that's through a DHCP reservation, right? And we're going to be using that later in class with our own DHCP servers. You can, if you want to, you can change this to static if you want to, but it's really not necessary at this point. Okay, so what can happen now is the IPMI interface can be unplugged, right? And then you can hit this box over the other interface. So I'm going to do that now. So let's go to 192.168.7.11, and now I'm into ESXi. Same root password. Okay, so I've logged in. Let's just take a quick look around. So I have a host name super1.cyber.local that was pulled from DHCP, or excuse me, from DNS and DHCP. Let's take a look at storage. I have one data store. I actually have two, right? Or I will have two once I complete the configuration of the data storage. Because if you remember, I had two drives when I installed. Let's take a look at the host in particular. How much memory do I have? So I'm not using a lot of RAM. I have a ton left. If you have anything less, if you have like 32, let your instructor know and we'll upgrade you. All right, so I'm going to stop this video right now. So we have ESXi installed. Make sure you're keeping up with your tech journal, and then we're going to move on to ISOs and networking. That's our next topic. So until then, good luck with this part of the milestone.